Bluey is a show full of funny moments, and some of them are actually pretty heavy and even illegal. But did you really catch some of the jokes that showed up in the cartoon? Going to the bathroom is a very private moment, but Bluey's cousin Muffin doesn't agree. The heaviest moment in the episode Video Call happens when the little pup is running away from her dad after disobeying an order. Muffin runs through the house and we can see what's happening behind her, but then at one point, the little pup runs into the bathroom and we see Aunt Trixie sitting on the toilet. Anyone who has kids the same age as Muffin knows moments like this can happen. And yes, Aunt Trixie could have locked the door, but after what happened, maybe she learned her lesson. Muffin is a super messy little pup, and that day she ended up using the phone camera to show her mom in a very private bathroom moment. Here's an important tip: don't go into the bathroom when someone's already in there, because that's really wrong and stinky. There are plenty of other things you could do. So grab your popcorn and a refreshing drink, because another episode of Cinewave is starting right now! If Aunt Trixie didn't teach Muffin about bathroom rules, she definitely did the same with socks. The youngest pup in the Healer family is the star of one of the funniest and grossest moments in the series when she starts pooping in Bluey's backyard. In the episode where Bluey puts on a play for bingo, the idea was that Socks would pretend to be a little pup called Bumpy, while our blue protagonist would play a girl who loves walking her pet. But Socks, at the beginning of the show, behaved way more like a normal dog than like a little girl who thinks like a person. Because of that, the creators of the cartoon decided to show Socks pooping in the Healer family's yard. That's super gross, and that's why we say, if you're going to poop, do it in the bathroom and lock the door so Muffin doesn't show up with a phone. In the episode Smoochie Kiss, there are some illegal moments, but here's one of the grossest, when Bluey and Bingo smell the nastiest stink that comes out of Chili's mouth. The whole story starts when the mom of the family complains about some of the things Bandit does. Because of that, the Healer sisters decide to separate their parents in a race around the house. In the end, Chili explains that even with his flaws, she's in love with her husband, and that's fine. But then Bandit makes it clear that his wife also does some gross things. The illegal part starts there, when Chili opens her mouth and blows her stinky breath right in her daughter's faces. Bingo and Bluey are so shocked they almost throw up on the floor. Yuck, that was rough, Chili. And here's another tip: brush your teeth. Nobody should have to deal with your morning breath. Still in the episode Smoochie Kiss, Bandit does one of the weirdest and grossest things in the whole show. He pees on his own foot, and after rinsing it off in the sink, he tries to dry it with one of Bluey's shirts. In this story, Bluey and Bingo are playing hide and seek while running from Chili, but their dad suddenly needs to go to the bathroom. Nobody knows how he managed to pee on his own foot, but it's terrible to watch him try to clean that disgusting mess in the laundry sink. Bluey has it rough in this episode, because not only does she have to deal with her mom's bad breath, she also has to smell the nasty fart that Bandit lets out right there in the laundry. Poor Bluey, that was a tough day for her. But what about you? Are your farts as stinky as Bandit's? Comment #yes so we can find out your dirty little secret. Now in season 3, there's a super heavy and definitely illegal moment you need to see. The day Bluey and Bingo took pictures of Chili's butt. It all started with the mom of the family doing yoga stretches in front of the TV, but Bluey and Bingo wanted to play tourists in a faraway land. In the pup's imagination, Chili would be a funny animal, and that's why they started snapping photos of her backside. Chili gets upset and says that's not okay, but Bluey doesn't understand why her mom scolded her. Chili just tells her daughter to trust her, but she really should have explained it better. Taking photos of people without their permission is very wrong, even more so when you're showing the most private parts of someone's body. This moment in the show is built like a joke, but Chili's warning is absolutely right. Never take pictures of anyone's butt. If you do, you'll get in trouble. Another funny but also heavy moment happens in the episode Double Babysitter, when Bandit's older brother, Uncle Radley, and Bluey's godmother, Frisky, meet. The pup's uncle comes up with the idea of playing a question game where the nieces can ask the adults anything. And that's when Bluey brings up Bosco, who is Frisky's ex-boyfriend. Bluey's godmother gets really uncomfortable and even sad with the question because apparently their relationship didn't end peacefully. This moment is heavy because Bluey, without meaning to, ended up bringing back a sad memory from Frisky's past. Bingo even asks if love lasts forever, and Frisky admits she used to think so, but now she isn't so sure anymore. Now we're gonna show you a scene so heavy and illegal that it was cut from the cartoon and doesn't appear in the episode Markets when Bluey gets a $5 bill. Our little protagonist really wants to ride a pony at the fair, but she's with Indy, and the pup doesn't have enough money to take both of them on a ride. When Bluey gives up and just pets the pony, the animal poops so much it ends up scaring the little pups. This scene is official from the show, but it was cut and can only be found online, and even though it's funny, it's also really heavy. Do you remember that episode where we find out Chili lost a child? The episode we know is The Show, where the Healer pups want to tell the story of when their parents first met. But the heavy part of this episode goes beyond the discovery about Chili's past. There's a line from the mom of the family that very few people noticed. Bandit actually had to fight to win his beloved. Yep, that really happened. In the middle of the play, Bluey asks her mom when she and Bandit met, and Chili answers that it happened during a dispute. That's proof that back then there was someone else who wanted to be with Chili too. A lot of people didn't catch this line, but if you pay close attention to Bandit's expression, you'll see he was uncomfortable having to remember it. It really seems like Mr. Healer had to compete with another dog for his sweetheart's attention. Was it hard for him? It must have been pretty heavy. And we also want your attention. We've got new videos every day, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. In the episode Fancy Restaurant, when the Healer sisters are pretending to set up a romantic dinner spot for their parents, there's a moment that's pretty funny, but at the same time super heavy. When the Healer couple is talking, Chili says she needs to use the bathroom, but when she comes back, Bandit is all nervous because he wants to impress the girl. And then he blurts out, "Did you have fun in the bathroom?" And Chili is completely shocked by that line. What the younger audience didn't understand at the time is that there's a joke hidden in Bandit's question. What people do in the bathroom is private, and that's not the kind of thing you should ask someone. The reason Chili was so shocked in that scene is because Bandit was asking about something that was none of his business, and it ended up being a super heavy moment. But of course, as always, Mr. Healer still got some laughs out of us. Still in the Fancy Restaurant episode, Bingo makes a special dish for her parents to eat, but what she put together was super illegal. She mixed a bunch of stuff that definitely gave her dad a terrible stomachache. She mixed pasta, pickles, sausage, mashed potatoes, a sandwich, and pieces of fruit, all of it inside a mound of strawberry jello. To make Bingo happy, the dad of the family eats what she prepared, but that was a huge health risk for Bandit, and absolutely something very illegal. And that's why Mr. Healer is the best dad in the world. But here's a tip. Be careful what you eat. Another moment that feels illegal in the show happens in the episode Work, when Bluey is pretending to be the boss at Bandit's job. In one scene, our protagonist starts acting like a really mean boss and tells her dad to clean the office windows with his butt, which makes him super embarrassed. But what makes it even worse is that the Healer's neighbor Wendy is right outside. Wendy sees Bandit's butt through the window and is totally shocked by the scene. Okay, sure, it's a funny scene, but let's be clear, showing off that part of your body like that is really weird. Don't do it. In the episode Takeaway, Bandit takes his daughters to a Chinese food restaurant. That day, the Healer pups were full of energy, making a mess, and Bandit was exhausted, but as always, he was a great dad and took control of the situation. At one point, when Bandit finally gets a chance to rest, Bingo decides to ask a question no adult could ever answer. The little pup wanted to know which of the adults had the very first baby ever. From the look on Mr. Healer's face, you can tell he was thinking about how babies are actually made, and that's definitely not a conversation you have with little kids. Poor Bandit. In the episode Fairy Tale, a super heavy and illegal scene happens when Bandit is telling his daughters about the past, back in the 80s. In one scene, Grandma Chris gets really mad because someone ate all the cereal. And since Bandit couldn't say anything at that moment because he had lost in a contest with his brothers, the illegal moment begins. Bandit's brothers tell their mom that he's the one who ate all the cereal, even though it wasn't true. But in the 80s, moms could be really harsh. Grandma Chris takes off her sandal and starts chasing her son. That scene makes it clear she was going to hit him, and that is super heavy. This scene proves that Bluey does have some dark moments, and the funny thing is that Bluey herself was shocked watching it. In other words, not even Bandit and Chili use physical punishment to raise their kids, but in the past, it wasn't like that. Now, if you want to know about the future, just know that we've got 2 more videos ready for everyone to enjoy. We'll see you in the next one. See you soon!